Hey guys, welcome to the Creative Arena. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this wonderful Elementor magic glowing card effect on hover, and it is responsive on all devices. So at the end of this tutorial, we're going to create something that looks like this, and I'll walk you through step by step on how to achieve it and go about editing it and customizing it to suit whatever project you're working on. So when you hover here, you can see this magic effect. You can see this effect, and then you can check for the responsiveness here on tablet and see what it looks like on tablet. You can see this is what it looks like on tablet. Okay, and then even on mobile, it looks pretty on mobile. And then you can see it on mobile. Okay, so without further delay, let's dive in and get started. In our Elementor editing screen, the first thing I'll do is I'll just come over here, click on this plus icon and select the Flexbox container. Then I'm going to select the structure here. Then I'll come over here to the minimal height, change the unit from pixel to VH and give it a value of 100. Then I will justify content to the center and align item to the center as well. Then I'll head over to the background and set the background type to classic and select from our default colors. I'm going to set this to black main color, this color here. Then I'll head over to the advanced settings. Now for the padding, I'm going to set the padding here to 100 pixel all round. Now unlink this to the left, I'll set the padding to 40 pixel, and then to the right, I'll set the padding to 40 pixel as well. Okay, now that I've done this, the next thing I'll do here is I'll just click on this plus icon here and add a container within it. Now for this first container, I'll call it our parent container. Then for the second container here, I'll call it our card container. Okay, so now for this card container, I'll come over here for the width. I'll change the unit from percentage to pixel, and then I'm gonna give you the value of 300 pixel and the minimum height of 380 pixel. Okay, so now that I've done that, the next thing I'll do here is I'll just come over here, still on this card here. I'll click on this plus icon and add another container within it. Now for this container here, I'll call the container inner container. Okay, now for this inner container, come over here to where we have the width, change the unit from percentage to pixel and give it a value of 295 pixel and a minimum height value of 375. Okay, so now that I've done that, the next thing I'll do here is I'll come over here, make sure I justify content to the center, then align item to the center as well. Okay, then I'll head over to the style option, and for the background type, I'll set the background type to classic and give it the same background color as that of the parent container. So I'll set it to black main. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'll head over to the advanced settings. For the padding, I'm going to link this one here. To the top, I'll set the padding to 40 pixel. To the right, give it a padding of 30 pixel. To the bottom, 20 pixel, and then to the left, 30 pixel. Okay, so now that we've done that, the next thing I'll do here is I'll click on this plus icon here and drag icon to it, and then for the icon, I'll just select an icon here. Let's just search for this icon here. Yeah, I like this icon, so I'll just select this icon. Then I'll come over here to the view, set the view to frame, and for the shape, I'll set it to square. Now I'll head over here to the style. Now for the primary color, I will go to set it to white. Okay, come over here to the size and set the size to 30 pixel. All right, so now I'll still on this inner container here. I'll just come over here, click on this plus icon and add a heading widget. Now for the heading widget, I'll change the text to heading 1, and then come over here to the style option, align item to the center, text color, set it to white. The font typography, I'm going to set the font size to change the unit from pixel to EM and give it a value of 1.5 EM. Okay, then I'll come over to our widget area and select the text editor. Now come over here, let's reduce the length a little bit. Okay, then head over to our style and align it to the center, change the text color to somewhat off-white. Okay, so now the next thing I'll do, come back here to where we'll have the button and add the button widget. Now change the button text to then more, then head over to the style option. Now for the typography, we're just gonna increase the button typography, change the unit from pixel to EM and give it a value of 1.2 EM. Okay, or we can just leave it at 1.1 em. All right, this looks better. Okay, so now I'll head over to the text color, set the text color to white, and then for the button background, I'm going to set the color to transparent. Okay, then I'll head over to the border type, set it to solid, and then unlink this to the bottom. I'm going to get a border of 2 pixels to the bottom. Then come over here to the border color, set the border color to white. Then come over to the border radius and link this. Now to the right, give it a value of 10 pixels to the bottom, 10 pixels to the left, 10 pixels as well. Okay, so now we now have this effect here, as you can see. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do here is just come over to the hover effect and then come over to the hover animation and set it to grow. So now when we hover, we now have this growing effect here. Okay, so now we are done designing our card structure. The next thing here we'll do is I'm just going to add some CSS code to this design that will give us our wonderful magic card effect. So on this card container here, I'm just going to go to the advanced settings, come down here to where we'll have the custom CSS. Mind you, this feature is only available on the Elementor Pro. So if you do not have the Elementor Pro, there's a link in the description of this video where you can get the Elementor Pro. So now I'll just head over to my VS Code editor. We have already written down the code. Okay, this is the code here. So now, not to worry about this code, it will be made available in the comment section of this video for you to copy and use it on your website for free or any project you're working on. So I'm just going to copy out the code, then head back to our design, and then I'll paste the code here. Now you can see our effect has taken place on our card. And now when you hover, you now have this wonderful magic card effect over here. Okay, so now another thing we're going to do here is we're just going to come over to this text here, come over to the advanced settings. For the margin, we just come over here and give it a margin of -10. Okay, so we now have this. Now when you hover, you now have this wonderful effect, as you can see. Now the next thing we can do here is I'll just come over to our card container where we'll have our code and explain some few things. Now over here, you can see where we'll have the gradient 1, gradient 2, and gradient 3. Now what this means is this is where you can change the color of this glowy effect at the back. This border here, you can change the color. Now if you want to change this top color here, you can just come over here to the gradient 3, and then you can set it to whatever color you want it. For instance, you set it to red. You can see we now have red. You hover, it switches. Okay. And then we're just going to revert it back to our previous color. Now also, if you in a situation where you don't want the hover effect, okay, so you're just going to come over here where we have the hover effect, and you're just going to comment this out. Okay, so now there is no more hover effects. We just have this wonderful card. And in the situation where you're not also okay with the blur effect, as you can see, you're just going to come over here to where we have the blur effect and then comment it out as well. Okay, so now we're just going to turn on our hover effect because it looks great with the hover effect. Okay, so now, okay, so the next thing we can do here, we're just going to come over to this card here, and then we're going to duplicate the card and duplicate it again. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to come over to our parent container here, and then come over to the layout and make sure we set the gap to 50 pixels. Okay, so we now have this wonderful card effect here. Now we can come over here and change the various cards, change this one here, and then we can just look for any card, let's just select this here, and then we'll select it, and then we'll come over here, change the heading to heading 2. Okay, and we do the same for the heading 3. The third card, change the icon to whatever icon we want to work with. We can just set it to, let's set it to this. Any icon depending on the project you're working on. So just let's select this icon here and then set the heading to heading 3. Okay, so now we're going to check the responsiveness of our design. So we check it out on tablet. Our tablet doesn't look great. So to fix it, it's just simple. We'll go to the parent container here and then come down to the layout where we have the wrapper that we're going to wrap it. So we now have this here, which looks great. Okay, so now we check it out on mobile. Now on mobile, it also looks great on mobile, as you can see. Everything looks beautiful. You can reduce the heading size if you want to 1.3, and then you can do that for the rest. Just copy this and then paste it here, paste style, and paste style here as well. And you now have this wonderful card effect. Okay, so now you're just gonna come over here, turn this onto the desktop, and we can see our card effect looks beautiful. And we're just gonna click on the publish. Come over here, click on this preview here to see it on our live site, and you can see this looks very beautiful. So that's it about this tutorial. If you've learned something new from this tutorial, remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified first when I drop a new video. And also feel free to drop your comments wherever you're confused, and I'll do what to attend to as much as I can. But until then, see you on our next video. Bye-bye.